on Times Radio.
And it's time for our regular feature. We call it Meet Your New MP. 335 of them in the new Parliament since July. I'm going to be busy this time, each Monday. And I can say hi now to Sarah Bool, who's Conservative MP for South Northamptonshire. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
You're very, very welcome. So as I say, Sarah, 335 new MPs at Westminster. Only 26 of them were Conservatives, and you're one of those. It makes you part of a very exclusive club.
Well, yeah, it's a quite unique club, but one I'm very pleased to be a part of. And forming that, I actually am the 584th female MP in Parliament. So that's quite a nice little note to have too.
Okay, well, congratulations on all of that. Now, your veteran colleagues on your side in the Tory benches, they are having to adjust to life out of government, which can be a bit of a pain and painful for some of them. For you, this is the only reality you've known in the political wilderness. Does the wilderness feel normal to you?
Well, as you said, it's a learning curve for us all as to how we're settling into this. But I'm actually really enjoying it. I think the one benefit of being a slightly smaller party in this regard is that I get some amazing opportunities that perhaps I wouldn't have got so soon into the career, because I'm already a PPS for the Shadow Home Office and Attorney General. I'm able to sit on the EFRA, the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs Select Committee. I'm on the 1922 Executive Committee, and I'm now a Vice Chair of the EU-UK Parliamentary Partnership Assembly, as well as being on various different APPGs. So actually, I get a lot of great experience in this time.
Well, you clearly are, and you're a parliamentary private secretary. You're a ministerial aide, or as they're sometimes affectionately described, bag carriers to front benches. Is this just the beginning of your soaring ascent? Have you got high ambitions?
Oh, well, I'd be wrong if I didn't say that I hope that I will be able to make my progress over the years to come. I've got some excellent examples, and including, female prime ministers. So obviously you've got to aim on these things. But I think at the moment I'm very happy just learning the ropes and also getting the chance to be a very good constituency MP too, which I think is crucial and mustn't be underestimated.
I've got to say, Sarah, props to you for that. Not too many new MPs turn up here on this slot and say, I think I'm going to be a future prime minister, or that I could be.
Thank you. Well, I mean, no quoting. Let's check back in and see what happens. But I like the fact that the aspiration is possible. We've set the example has been set and the model has been set. So let's aim high.
Okay, look, I've no doubt you're busy. I mean, your constituency, you've got a large proportion of your territory is agricultural land, isn't it? Is it over 80%? And we
yes,
know
88.
88%. It's high, and we know the government has upset a lot of farmers. I've no doubt, Sarah, you are upset on their behalf, but it's also a bit of a political gift to the local Conservative MP as well, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't like to say it's a gift, because the thing is that the amount of emails that I have coming in and the actual stories that I'm hearing from my farmers, I mean, I just wish that the Labour Party would, at this point, recognise the issue. I appreciate it's very difficult for a government to make a U-turn, but I think when the evidence is stacked against you, proceeding with this is catastrophic. And I cannot stand to see what this is doing to my community and what it's doing across the country. So I don't see it as much as a gift. It's a point that we can argue on, but it's a one I wish I weren't having to, a conversation I wish we weren't having to have. Well,
I'm sure that's what the farmers in your patch want to hear. And meanwhile, we've got the government under pressure from every direction. The government's being attacked by businesses for putting national insurance on their employers' contributions. I take it I'm guessing that you support that attack on that policy in the budget. And if you do, though, what do you think the Chancellor should have done instead to raise more money, assuming you think the Chancellor was right to raise taxes at all?
Well, I think, you always have to find efficiencies when you're in government. And I think that's the problem, is what the Labour Party have done is they've come in, and I think, to be honest, if I'm being honest, I think they've been presented with a list of ideas which said they would generate X amount of money, the step they haven't done is the stress testing. And I think that's what we would have done as a government, actually. Where we left, we had the fastest growing economy in the G7. So I think inflation had come down from 11% down to 2%. So I think actually we would have been continuing with the progress that we've been making in that initial first instance.
But Sarah, let's be honest. When we talk about the economy being the fastest in the G7, it's not saying much, is it? The economy was still pretty much flatlining.
But in the context of where we came from and what we've been working through over the last few years, I think you mustn't underestimate that. I mean, going through COVID and everything that it meant, and then with the war with Ukraine and the impacts that has led, I mean, I think it's very impressive, and I think it was something that we were proud of. And what I am concerned is that we are starting to see that reversal. And what my main concern as well is you cannot keep continuing to talk down this country. And that is what Rachel Reeves has done. And that is what we're starting to see the knock-on impact of. We need to have a positive message for this country and our aspirations for the future. And that's, they're learning. And unfortunately, we're going to be the ones feeling the effects. As you said, it's the school that's having to shut in my constituency is some of those that are suffering most from this.
All right, let's talk again before long, Sarah. You're pitching in there for your constituents in Northamptonshire. Pienaar and Friends coming up.
Across the UK, on DAB,